All right, now we're getting into some problems that are real world problems that you might see every day, and that's going to be application problems that involve percent. A lot of these may involve money, when you go and shop, things like that. So let's look at some basic percent problems first. And some things you need to know when you're working percent problems is that the word of is going to mean multiply. Is means equals. We've done that before. If you see what number, that means to put a variable in its place. And then when we have percents, we're going to have to change our percents to decimals. So remember, when you change a percent to a decimal, 52%, you would drop the percent sign and move your decimal 2 places to the left, so that would be 0.52. 9%, you drop your percent sign and move your decimal 2 places to the left. You have to add a 0, so that would be 0.09. And in some of them, we may have to go the other way. If we end up with a decimal and we need to go to a percent, we'll move our decimal to the right 2 places. Okay, so here's an example. Using our words, we're going to make an expression. So 45 is, remember, means equals. What percent is going to be my x? Of means times, and then 360. So 45 is what percent of 360? So this is really 45 equals 360x. So we're going to work with the side that has the x. We're going to divide both sides by 360. 45 divided by 360 is going to give me 0.125 equals x. Now, the question asked for a percent. So this is a decimal, and I need to change to a percent. So in order to do that, I need to move my decimal 2 places to the right and then add a percent sign. So that would be 12.5%. Okay? All right, and the next one is going to be very similar. 544 is what percent of 640? So let's write that out. 544 is what percent of 640? So now again, we're working with the side that has the x, so I'm going to divide both sides by 640. So 544 divided by 640 is 0.85. And again, my question asks for a percent. So I need to move my decimal 2 places to the right and add a percent sign. So that gives me 85%. Okay, let's look at the next page. I've written out some more. And these weren't included in your workbook, so that's why I added these types of problems before we get to some that are in the workbook. What is 142% of 740? So what, that's going to be my x, is equals. This time I have a percent, I need to make that into a decimal. So drop the percent sign and move your decimal 2 places to the left. So that's 1.42. Of means multiply. 740. Now this one is nice because there is no division here. I just need to take 1.42 and multiply it times 740. And when I do that, I get 1050.8. So this one is a little bit easier. There was no division involved. So you have to watch your problem. If you have an x by itself and then just numbers on the other side of the equal sign, you're probably going to have a multiplication problem. All right, let's look at number 4. What is, so x equals 9.5% of 616. So I need to move my decimal 2 places to the left and change that to a decimal. So 0.095 of means multiply 616. When I take 0.095 times 616, probably using a calculator, I'm going to get 58.52. Okay, so there's somewhere we were given a percent in the number and had to find out what the percentage of the number was. Okay, here's the last type that you can have. 177 is 20% of what number? So let's write it out. 177 is means equals. Change your percent to a decimal, so that'd be 0.20. Of means multiply. What number is x? So this time I do have a number with my x that I need to divide by. So let's divide both sides by 0.20. So 177 divided by 0.20, I got 885 equals my x. Okay, one more like this and then we'll move into the workbook pages. 126 is 15%, move your decimal 2 places, 0.15 times what number, which is x. So divide 0.15 on both sides. 126 divided by 0.15 would be 840 equals x. Okay, so those are just basic percent problems. Now let's look at some word problems that we might see that also involve percent, but I think that these, you know, in the whole world of word problems, I think these are pretty useful. So 9% of the population is left-handed. That's what they're telling me. 9% of our population is left-handed. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what we're going on today. And it says if you've got a group of 480 people, how many would you expect to be left-handed? So that means I'm trying to find 9% of my 480 people. So 0.09 times 480 people equals what? So I'm going to take 0.09 times 480, and I got 43.2 people, which you can't really have 0.2 people, so be about 43 people you would expect from that 9%. Now here's one that could come in very handy, because I know most of us have to shop at some point, and we try to figure out sales tax. This also works for restaurant problems too. Like if you're going out to eat and you have a bill and you need to figure out your total bill, you want to leave a tip. For restaurant, I'm going to call that tip problems. And you'll see a tip problem again. So here we have a new laptop. It costs $1,200. The sales tax rate is 5.5%. Find the amount of sales tax. So in order to find the amount of sales tax, first of all, my percent, my 5.5% needs to be changed to a decimal. So drop the percent, move it 2 places to the left. So 0.055. That is my sales tax rate. Now to find my sales tax, I need to take my cost of my item times my sales tax. Okay, that will give me my amount. So I'm going to take $1,200 times my 0.055. That tells me how much sales tax I'm paying. And so when I multiply that out, I get $66. So I'm going to pay $66 in tax. Okay, so that's the first question. The second question says, find the total bill. Well, if my laptop costs $1,200 and I'm going to have to pay $66 in tax, if I add those together, I get $1,266. That'll be my total cost. The same thing would work on a tip problem. You would take your total bill times your percentage that you want to leave for a tip, whether it's 15%, 20%. That would give you how much you're going to leave on the table for your tip, and then you would add that to your bill. Okay, here's another good one. If you've got 31% of your students taking an algebra class earned a C, in my algebra class it will be much higher than 31%. How many C students would you expect in a class of 58? So we're trying to figure out how many, or 31% of our 58 students is what number? So 0.31 times our 58 equals, I got 17.98 students. So roughly 17 students are going to get C's in that class. Alright, so those are your basic percent problems. The workbook has a little bit more involved ones, but those are your basic ones, and those are the ones that you're pretty much going to see on a test or on homework. Have a great day.